All right, what up, guys? Let's do this Mod 4 quiz review. Here we go. We have two angles that are on the interior between two lines and specifically on the same side of the transversal. So if they're on the same side, so this is going to be kind of a freebie because it says same side right there and it already says interior, so same side interior. That is absolutely a freebie right off the bat. Let's do the next one, exterior angles. So which one of these should we just go ahead and like select it right away? Do we even need to read it? You know, they're on opposite sides of the transversal, hence the word alternate. Should be another freebie there. Interior angles, opposite sides. Yet, what do you know? Another freebie, alternate interior angles. We'll pause for a second. If you don't kind of know what these words mean, I would love to go over that with you just more kind of in class. Just gonna let me know. I made a whole bunch of notes on it. So if you missed that day, definitely ask me to go over it with you. Anyways, two angles across from each other on intersecting lines, they're always congruent. We call those vertical angles. And angles on the same side of the transversal and in the same position. We're going to call those corresponding. They're in the same exact spot. And adjacent supplementary, forming a straight line, linear, kind of a freebie. Let's go ahead and do some actual problems here. So the measure of BXO is 140. So we're told that BXO is 140 degrees. That's this value right here. So we got 140 and it says to find YZE. YZE. So the concept here is that these two are parallel lines cut by a transversal. This is on the right hand side of it. This is on the right hand side of it. We just covered that in a previous problem. It's called a corresponding. So it means that this guy is also going to be 140. Let's go on to question number 8. So on question 8 here, it says we got XWO is 70. So let's go find that guy. XWO is 70. So it says that this guy right there is 70. Find XWH. So it wants XWH. Well, this one over here is going to complete a straight line. So that one right there is going to be 180 minus our 70 degrees that we just did. And that's going to be 110. Feel free to use a calculator, any of these that are not super easy for you. Anyways, the measure of AXB is 40. So we have AXB being 40. Kind of already knew that actually because of the 140, right? Find WXO. So that is our vertical angles. That's again a freebie. These will always be identical to each other. Again, vertical angles, very important concept. We got HWG is 70, so we're looking at HWG being 70. And again, we already knew that was 70 by vertical angles. Find CYD, CYD. The concept they're looking for there, again, we have the parallel lines cut by a transversal. This one and these two right here are going to be alternate exterior angles. Alternate, they're on the other sides of the line. Exterior, they're on the outside. Alternate exterior angles are always identical. So that's an automatic 70 degrees. That was our CYD being 70 degrees. OZY being 40. We got OZY. That's this value right here is going to be our 40 degrees. And it wants us to find BXO, BXO. So here they're trying to get you BXO. They already told us that BXO was 140. Whatever. I won't whine. That they were trying to do same side interior stuff. GWO is 110. So we got where is GWO? We got GWO telling us this is 110. Again, we kind of already knew that from the 70. Find OYC. OYC. So it wants us to find this value. Alternate interior is what they were hoping for, but you know, this point might have been done a lot earlier. All right, so let's keep on moving on here. Find X. This one should be a freebie. Going to be 90 degrees minus that 72 degrees because of that right angle right there. That's going to give us 18 degrees as our answer. Likewise, on this question right next door to it, going to be another freebie here because it adds up to 180. So 180 degrees minus that 43 degrees, and that's going to be, what is that, 137 degrees? Beautiful. All right, let's go on to the next page. That was question number 14. So now question number 15 here. So find X so that A is parallel to B. In this case, we have alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are always equal to each other. So we're going to have 10x minus 27 is equal to 133. This is going to be the easiest to just go ahead and move that 27 to the other side, doing my switcheroo business. And then adding those like terms, 133 and 27 together ends up being 160. Then we will divide both sides by 10. If we divide both sides by 10, we'll get x is equal to 16, is what we were hoping for. On this one, these two are on the same side interior, so anytime we have same side interior, they add to 180. So we have 2x plus 71 plus 4x minus 23 is equal to 180 degrees. And then we have the 2x and the 4x gives you a 6x. The 71 minus the 23, because that's what we do. We do 2x and the 4x, and we're doing 71 minus the 23, and that's going to give us 48 is equal to 180. I wonder if I should double check these on the calculator. I think I'll be all right. And then we're going to move that 48 to the other side. That's going to give us, what is that going to give us? 140 minus 8, 132. And then we'll divide both sides by 6. If you divide both sides by 6 there, you end up getting 22 as our x value. Boom, boom, boom. We're all done with that one. Let's continue on. Here we go. Number 17 says the measure of BCQ is 90. So we're told that BCQ right here, we're told that this one is a 90-degree angle. So we have our right triangles going on. AC is 18. So this entire length is 18, and if I were to do 18 divided by 2, that is to say to chop that in half, that's going to give us 9 for both of these, because it's exactly equal. 9 plus 9 gives you 18. 18 divided by 2. QB is going to be 15, so you're told that this length over here is going to be 15, and it wants us to find QC. I'll call that our x value. Remember, this is a question we can do two different ways, so I'm going to go ahead and divide it in half. There's the standard way of doing the problem. The standard way of doing the problem is our Pythagorean theorem. Our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Our concept there is any old triangle that has a c on the outside, a here, b here. We have that triangle set up over here. This will be true for any of these such triangles. So it looks to me like we have a 9 squared plus x squared is equal to 15 squared. Using our calculator, remembering that square means to multiply by itself. 9 times 9 is 81. 15 times 15 is 225. We can also subtract 81 on both sides now. See how I'm switching it up sometimes? Just do it the switcheroo way sometimes, some way or the other. Then we got to do 225 minus 81. If you do that correctly, you get 144. Then we need to square root both sides. That is to say, x is going to be the square root of 144, which is 12. And that is our correct answer. However, there is a faster way of doing this question. The faster way of doing this question is remembering a couple of triangles that we have memorized. The triangles that we are supposed to have memorized are the 3, 4, 5 triangle, the 5, 12, 13 triangle. Those are by far the most important to memorize. After you've memorized those ones, the other ones to get memorized for yourself are going to be the 7, 24, 25, the 8, 15, 17, and the 9, 40, 41. So you want to memorize these triangles, right? If you have these triangles memorized, what you could do is you have the 9 and the 15 that you know what they are. You know the 9 is here, and the 15 is the hypotenuse. So we know we're just missing something in the middle. However, you can divide both of these by 3. You just have to figure out what number you're dividing by, and if you divide them both by 3, you get a 3 and a 5, and that is our 3, 4, 5 triangle. And if you're trying to divide something by 3, the opposite version is to multiply by 3, and multiplying by 3 gives you 12, that same answer that we were looking for earlier. So you just got to figure out what is that multiplication or division to go between the two, and then just do the multiplying. It can make your life a little bit easier if you want to learn this method. Or you could just stick with this Pythagorean theorem method. That's fine too. I'll let you do what you want to do. ABP is 90, PC is 13. So you're told that this guy here is 13 from here to here. And BC is 9. We already knew that. Wants to just find PA. The idea was whenever we have these 90-degree angles, and these are both 9, it's a perpendicular bisector rule, which means that this is also 13 guaranteed. So we're going to write that 13 in there. Easy peasy. All right, now we have our, use this is to write it in, which is point slope, to write it in y equals mx plus b. However, I taught this in class with the y1 on the other side. This is how I taught it in class. I do think that this is the better way to memorize it for those AP Calc classes in the future, in the event you decide to take those calculus courses. Or even really pre-calculus. I mean, this is just the more useful version to have the y equals. It's just more consistent to have the minus on both sides, which makes it somewhat easier to understand. And you can divide both sides by x minus x1 to create the slope formula, which is kind of nifty, but this is really the preferred version that we're looking for. Anyways, the word parallel means same slope. So because that means same slope, that means that our slope that for this equation that we're writing right here, we're trying to do y is equal to same slope, -4/9. That's our m in front right there. This is our slope. And we're using our -9 and our -2. So we're going to have x minus 9, which becomes a plus, and then -2. We are now going to use our distributive property, or -4/9 times the x, the -4/9 times the 9. If you multiply those together, you end up getting -4x. 4/9x, sorry, what am I saying? -4/9x, you're multiplying it here and you're multiplying it here. The 9/9 will cancel out, so you end up getting just -4 and then -2. And that will end up getting y is equal to -4/9x minus 6. By the way, if you are struggling, I want to remind everyone one more time, you have a calculator at school. All the calculators have this button. It is alpha, y equals, and then enter. So we're going to hit alpha, y equals, enters at the bottom right-hand corner of the calculator. If you hit that, a fraction will show up. We could use this to do our distributive property. If you are somehow not comfortable with these fractions, you can see -4/9 times 9 gives us that -4, just like a normal old type of question. Either way, that is our final answer. So I'm going to write it where it belongs in our little box here. -4/9x minus 6. Maybe I should have just circled that. I don't know. Anyways, perpendicular. So perpendicular means, remember that negative reciprocal slope. Negative reciprocal slope. So if you're trying to do our negative reciprocal slope, we're going to flip this upside down. So it's going to become 4/1 with a negative in front. We don't really need that 1, though. That's just a -4. And that's going to be our equation that we're going to, or our line that we're going to start with. So we have y is equal to our slope multiplied by x minus 1 plus 9. So it was a plus this time because of the minus sign, and it's a minus this sign because there is none. So just be careful with that. Y is equal to -4x plus 4. -4 times -1 is +4. Add the 9. Y is equal to -4x plus 13. And that'll be our final answer. And we're done. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and peace out.